Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kenny Lamons here with Medicare Millennials. Just wanted to hop on today and talk to you guys about 5 myths that surround Medicare Advantage as far as being an agent and selling those products. Okay, so as you guys know, our YouTube channel, Medicare Millennials, a little tagline that I always say is, we're building a large, successful, long-term book of business. So a lot of you guys reach out to us, whether you're just picking our brains, asking questions, or you end up partnering with the same FMO that we partner with. So I get a lot of questions about that kind of nonsense questions, but I don't blame anyone for asking them because these are myths that are out there. And this is just one man's opinion as far as these myths go, but I think most of them are bullcrap, and that really I can mitigate a lot of those concerns if you've heard these myths about Medicare Advantage and you're thinking about either getting into the business or adding Medicare Advantage to your portfolio. So let me hop right into it. This can be a short and sweet video. Number one is that Medicare Advantage is a scam for your customers. So maybe you're somebody that already sells insurance. Maybe you sell Medicare supplements and you've always been told that Medicare Advantage is a complete no-no and to stay away from it. Or maybe you've never sold insurance at all, but your grandmother has a Medicare supplement or something, and you've just been painted a tainted picture of what Medicare Advantage is and what it isn't. Here's the reality. Medicare Advantage in and of itself is not a scam, okay? But it is what it is, and it's not what it's not. The reason that it sometimes gets such a bad name is because people often try to sell this product as if it were a Medicare supplement or a Medigap plan, and it just is not that, okay? And you need to make, as you go through your training and you pursue this career, make sure that you pay attention to the continuing education courses and your licensing courses so that you understand the difference between a Medicare Advantage plan and a Medicare supplement plan. And then there's also a lot of issues are you sell this plan to somebody and you don't really explain what an HMO is and what that means for a customer, or what a PPO is and what that means for a customer. And so really, if somebody completely understands what that is and their situation dictates, that may be the best plan for them to go into, and that may be what they're going to choose. Your job to make it not a scam is to be very straightforward, clear, honest, for you to understand what that product is and what it can and can't do for a potential client, and communicate that to them. If you do that, I assure you, you'll be able to rest easy knowing that you helped your client be in the best position for their particular situation. So again, is Medicare Advantage a scam? Absolutely not. Does it put some people in a bad situation? Absolutely. And our job as an agent is to help make sure that doesn't happen. If they need a PPO instead of an HMO, let's get them there. If they need a Medicare supplement, or if they're better off staying with their employer coverage, let's make sure that we educate them and encourage them to make the best decision for themselves. So that's one of the big ones you hear. Number two, there is too much regulation for Medicare Advantage agents. Trust me, this was one of my biggest dilemmas 3 years ago when I thought about adding Medicare Advantage. Here's the thing about AHIP and scope of appointments and can I door knock a lead? How can I solicit people? Listen, let's just simplify it. First of all of this regulation over Medicare Advantage, it's supposed to ultimately help protect the consumer. It doesn't always do that, but here's a fact. It scares a lot of agents away. So really, you can think of it as a barrier to entry. If you're willing to go through and learn what the regulations and the rules are surrounding Medicare Advantage and abide by those rules, operate within the confines of those rules, you're actually creating a barrier of entry so that the market isn't so easily flooded with new agents because they're too scared to follow the rules, or they are too scared to learn the rules and regulations, and so they're not going to do that. And number two, it's really pretty simple. If you do what's right by your client, like these super simple things, like make sure you get a scope of appointment, that's super simple. I used to be afraid of that, but it's easy. And you make sure that you disclose everything that you're supposed to about the plan ahead of time. That's how you generate long-term residuals anyway. So if you weren't doing that, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot. Most of the regulation is about that. Make sure you disclose everything. Make sure you have their permission that you're to talk to them about this, that you're not just showing up at somebody's doorstep and bombarding them to convince them to go to a Medicare Advantage plan. And if you're not doing that and you've done your AHIP and listened to what the rules and regulations are, this won't be a big deal. Okay, those are two of the biggest ones. These last three will be nice and quick. Number 3, I can only serve the low-income market or the Medicaid market. That's absolutely false. A ton of Medicare Advantage beneficiaries or enrollees that are on Medicare Advantage plans are not on Medicaid, and they're not in that super low income range. A lot of them are. So if you're just worried that the only way you'll be able to generate business is by going to these food banks or something like that. That is one way to get business, and those Medicare beneficiaries need to be served as well, but it's not the only way. You're going to get all income ranges. Medicare Advantage has grown in popularity for better or for worse, so you're going to be able to take advantage of the whole spectrum of incomes out there. Number 4, I will lose my renewals. There's a lot of horror stories out there about people losing their renewals, and obviously, I can't speak for every circumstance and situation that's out there, but here's what I can tell you. Every time that I've heard a story about an agent losing their renewals, and then I've dug a little deeper and peeked under the blanket a little bit, so to speak, they either did something to get themselves in trouble, okay, so they weren't being straightforward, honest, doing business honestly the way that they were supposed to, or they got mixed up in a bad situation where they weren't independent agents, right? And so maybe they were in a captive environment where a shady figure or group of people was technically the owner of their book of business, okay? That's a lot more common, that that shady middleman, so to speak, that owned their book of business wiggled their way out of having to pay that person their renewals. So just do your due diligence. Make sure you're an independent agent, or at least that you know exactly what you're getting into before you get into something. And for the vast majority of agents, it's not something you're going to worry about. I know far more agents that have been enjoying the renewals on their Advantage book of business for years than I do of agents that lost their renewals for some crazy reason. And then the last one here is, I can't make any money selling Medicare Advantage. There's no money selling Medicare Advantage. There absolutely, obviously, is money in actually selling Medicare Advantage plans. I mean, oh crap, I'm drawing a blank, but we just got a raise for 2022. I had it pulled up earlier, but we know that it's going up to, if you sell somebody that's brand new to a Medicare Advantage plan, whether they're turning 65 or they're coming off of original Medicare onto one, this upcoming year in most states, it's like $584, right? And even if you're just helping somebody go from one Medicare Advantage plan to another one, it's $270 some odd dollars for 2022. I should know that by memory. It affects me pretty greatly, but we got a raise this year. Like, it's really not a ton of upfront money if you learn how to make sure you have a good mixture of new people that are new to Medicare. It really helps boost that income. If you learn to cross-sell, it helps boost that early income. But long-term, I can't think of many businesses that you can put in and grow a book so quickly and have a consistent, stable, long-term renewal income as you can with Medicare Advantage. I wouldn't be wasting my time doing it or making videos helping other people do it if there wasn't some financial incentive in there for us to do so. So look, hey, I'm sure there's a lot more. If y'all know of like a myth or something that people throw out there all the time that they can't back up or prove to you that has swayed you or put a speed bump in your way from adding Medicare Advantage to what you do right now, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And we're going to be dropping a video here pretty quick about what our exact plans are for OEP. So Ethan and I will do another interview in depth. So if y'all have any specific things you want us to talk about for this upcoming January through March 3rd, the end of March, put it in the comments below as well, and we'll try to add it in our video. Have a good one.